Boom! Don't talk to pussy about pussy. Welcome to the Sexual Life Podcast. Here we are talking about don't talk to pussy about pussy. What does that mean? Well, this is actually a phrase that was coined by Stevo, who's a member of our Men's Development Excellence, a member of TSL Online, actually. There's all these different tiers of what we do here. But he would talk about this in how, hey, man, how you dialogue with women and what can get you into trouble and what could not get you into trouble. The guy's full of wisdom. And there's so many guys like this on our calls. But this is an interesting thing because we talk about it a lot. And we see how it works. We see how it doesn't work. We see how it shoots us in the foot. We see how sometimes it may even benefit from us, and it stirs up a lot of controversy. But let's get this straight. Women love talking about pussy. They love talking about sex and relationships. They are dying to hear about it. One of the biggest cheats that I ever learned was to tell people that I was a dating coach. Why? Because I'm one of the cleaner dating coaches. I don't look like a fucking idiot. And if I say that and they go and Google me and watch my speeches, they're like, oh my God, I really liked what you said. And I don't know, whatever. I talk about that sort of stuff. And they'd be so enamored. But even before they could go home and watch my speeches or whatever it is they're going to watch, one of the things is that they're like, oh my God, I have these problems. They love talking about pussy. They love talking about relationships. They love talking. Once they know it's okay, Jesus Christ, it's amazing. But here's what they don't love. They don't love it when their pussy is wet for you to talk about other pussy. Ever. Not a good thing. Now, maybe they do in some obscure ways, but man, it can get you in a lot of trouble. And that's really what this is about. But more importantly, this is about the Sexual Life Podcast where any man can come and learn about dating, sex, relationships, meeting women, how to have better sex, how to hold on to your relationships, how to flavor them up, and just how to start a conversation. We have been teaching social dynamics since 2006. And in that, we've also created an amazing group that is alive, breathing, moving, called TSL Online. That started in 2009. Originally it was called The Mastermind Project. And in that, what we did was we started to create these communities of men. Well, these communities of men started talking on these live calls that we had. We'd have like 2 a week. Now we have calls almost every day of the week and over 40 hours of calls where guys are interacting about this. Literally anything, a guy focused on bettering himself, especially in his sex and dating life. We have answered that question, we have worked through it, and we have come to the other side of it in many different areas of our lives. So if you're a guy that is a truck driver, if you're a guy that's a Wall Street broker, if you're a guy that's a federal judge, if you're a guy that actually doesn't have a job, man, doesn't matter what you are, who you are, whatever you do, whatever your desires and problems are, we have worked through it. That's a beautiful thing. That's an amazing thing. And so that's actually where this wisdom derives. Never talk to pussy about pussy. So one of the things is that what will happen when you start to enter into a dating life is girls will ask about you, and girls get jealous. Girls love to gossip. Men love to gossip too, but man, it is one of the first things. It's so great when you're dating a woman and she comes across your Facebook or whatever, and something in her voice or her tonality changes. And she's like, oh yeah, Michelle. Okay. So how do you know her? Did you fuck her? And it's just this crazy demeanor. Women want to know. They want to know where your dick's been. They want to know about it. And women may even want to know that your dick has had a lot of pussy on it, that you've been between a lot of women's legs. And that can definitely be a turn on, but women don't want to know where that is. Or they do want to know, but you don't want them to know where that is. You don't know that specific destination, that woman, that vehicle that carried your dick around for a little bit has actually, or who that is. See, and so all the time, women love to find out about themselves or love to find out about, other women that you've been with and trying to define their relationship in those ways. But goddamn, it gets you into trouble. And one of the reasons why it gets you into trouble is because women aren't men. Man, especially when we let our guards down. And God, dude, it's so cool. You're talking to a chick and look, if she's just your friend or whatever, I'm all for it. Or if I'm just meeting her, I'm all for it. I just don't get specific about who it is I fucked. But if it's somebody that is interested in me, is somebody that's already turned on by me, Jesus Christ, man, that is a death trap. All right. There's all this stuff in pickup talking about how jealousy, triggers women and so on. And it does. And it causes people to react. Jealousy will make you as a man react. But if we use a tool too much or in the wrong ways, man, it'll really bite us in the ass. And so one of those things is that I always go by is like, man, solve a lot of those issues outside of your relationship or relationships. Solve these issues about being honest, or, if you are in an open relationship, and she does want to know, or one of the things that'll happen in a relationship that's so great, and she suspects you of cheating, and she'll tell you, oh man, and if you have, and she'll say, look, I don't care. You can tell me whatever. It doesn't matter. No, 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 it does matter. Now, you can be the person to judge whether or not you're going to lie or these things and those things and da 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 da. But man, you are opening up a trap door that you might just have to experience on your own to know how bad it is. See, the way women understand pussy, if you're talking to pussy about pussy, if you're talking to a bartender that you're semi-interested in, or, a girl that you've been fucking for a little bit, and you're talking about somebody in a past relationship, it's immediately seen as competition. It's immediately seen in all these things that we can't predict that might erupt in jealousy. But not only that, is we're used to talking to guys about this. And it can be so comforting, as I was saying, is when you get a girl that's open to talking about it, you're like, holy shit, this is badass. This is fucking great. She's one of the guys. And man, the littlest thing, and even if you don't even mean it in that way, or maybe you do mean it in that way, gets tripped, misinterpreted, fucked up, and all this other sort of shit, man. Which leads me to something else that I kind of want to talk about, of the importance of a men's group. But we'll get to that. We'll flag that. We'll keep that up here. But man, there'll be times where you'll be talking to one of your friends. Let's say you're talking to Amber or whatever, and you're talking about, this girl that you've been fucking. You're like, oh my God, man, I was fucking. It was the greatest thing in the world. And I was fucking her, and like, goddamn, her pussy started bleeding, and it was nuts, man. I just started fucking her harder. I didn't get it, but I was like, man, this wetness is thinner, and it has a different consistency than her normal pussy juice. What's going on? And I was like, oh my God, it's bleeding. Jesus Christ. And then she saw it and freaked out, and I was like, man, come on, why don't you finish the job? Blah, blah, blah. And you're going on and on about this story. And all of a sudden, Amber switches and goes, what the fuck? Why are you talking about hurting this woman when you weren't even in that mode? You weren't even in there. It flips, it goes upside down, it gets fucked up. Let alone you're talking with your girlfriend or your close, intimate partner. You're lying in bed and you're going, man, this is the best sex of my life. Jeez. Before that, I just had so many experiences that just didn't mean anything. You don't even mean it to be dogging her or whatever, or however you mean to do it, but immediately she switches. What? Man, I remember this one time. This is great, man. Because one of the things that I love doing is I love talking to pussy about pussy when I'm in her pussy. And but let's go this way, man. It could switch in so many different areas. God, I have a lot of experience with this, but I'll be having sex with somebody, and a lot of things that I'll say, somebody was talking about, what does Steve say during the golden dick stuff? Well, it has a lot to do with my cum and my dick and how it's shaping her or whatever. But I'll be fucking it very common. I'll be like, man, fuck, what if somebody was watching us fuck you right now? What if your best friend saw? Would you let her fucking suck my balls while my fucking dick is dripping with your pussy juice or whatever it is I'm saying? And all this sort of stuff, man. I'd just be railing. I'll spread her ass cheeks apart. I'll just be, what if your fucking mom saw me fucking you right now? All this sort of stuff, man. And I'll just drive it. But here's the thing. As soon as that gets too personal, and it's different for everybody, man, it switches. There's very few things that can bring somebody out of the state of sex. So there's things that can get somebody out of the state of arousal. That's the process in stepping up to sex. But when they're sexually turned on, there's very few things. Danger, it's like an act of violence happening or some big deal outside, or this extreme thing of jealousy. You want to see how quick a pussy can get dry. Man, I'll tell you of a couple different times. Number one, I was fucking this girl. I was fucking her from behind. Oh, man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to look at. This girl had such an amazing body. Oh, it was just so much right to it. And we fucked a lot, so I got to see it a lot. But I just remember this time I was appreciating it. She had this hair, and it was flowing and all this sort of shit. God, it was beautiful, man. It had this beautiful sheen. And it smelled good, and I could just smell the pussy coming fucking up from her ass. I was fucking her from behind, and I said, man. And she was Hungarian, and she didn't speak English that good. And I said, yeah, you fucking like me fucking. What if your mom watched me fucking you right now? And the funny thing is the first time I did hook up with her, her mom was in the room just watching TV in the other corner. It was a weird situation, but hey, I went with it, man. Not a lot stopping me once my dick is hard. But anyway, so all of a sudden she stops and she goes, what? What? You want to fuck my mother? Oh man, horrible. Pussy gets dry. Not good. Not good. Too personal. Too fucking personal. Now, that may not be pussy talking about pussy, but then there was another time where the pussy got dry, and Jesus Christ, this girl was fucking me, and we were getting all into it. And myself and that Hungarian girl, we would also get into, like, you know, all these weird things about her being a whore and being glory hole and all the shit that she didn't want to do in real life, but loved to fantasize about. And we would go into these crazy areas, and it's fucking great, especially when, like, you have a huge language barrier there. Man, lets the imagination run. But anyway, there was this other time, there's this girl, she was fucking me. We're fucking all night. And we're talking about fucking other people and how she's sucking whoever's dick and blah, 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 blah. And how whoever's going to fuck me too. And I was like fucking her, and she was on top of me. And I remember this vividly. And I was like, man, you want me to give her my cum? You want me to give her my cum? Boom, snaps out of it. And this is one of those things for guys who fucked a lot. They know this, man. Women, dude, your cum is your identity. It is so much of fuck, man. Like it is the identity of the orgasm. To get your cum, to get your orgasm, to have you orgasm in the way that only her body and her brand, her essence of sexuality can elicit from you. Jesus, man, it's fucking crazy. As soon as I was like, I'm going to give my cum to your friend or whatever the fuck it was, total stop. Done. Over it. Man, it was crazy. There's just something that happens when you talk to women about other women that they get in a different way that is very different than us. And it serves so little of a purpose. Like I said, the one time where I really do go for it and where I do talk about pussy is when I say, man, I'm a dating coach and I want to talk about your pussy and I want to get to know your pussy, or I want to get to know your essence and sexuality by talking about other sex and sexuality. But man, coming to gossip, complaining, searching for an answer, having troubles with women, man, it's tempting. I've done it a bunch, but you just get a better answer from men, which brings me to the next thing. Man, God, people out there, look, it's great for men and women to talk. That's what we're supposed to do. We are supposed to connect. We're supposed to interact. We're supposed to merge and become a new thing. But part of that is to define yourself or your masculinity, and much like for a woman. And we cannot deny the sexes of their own secrecy or their own fraternity or whatever you want to call it. They need to be able to talk amongst each other and find the answer. The worst thing that I can do is to look for the politically correct PC answer, or the answer that is given only by women on how to be a man. There is a certain point where I need to consult and talk to and be able to be open and ask anything about masculinity or whatever it is. Man, on this call tonight, we had people talking about all sorts of stuff: sexual dysfunction, different diseases, different fears, different stuff. And it wasn't an issue. It wasn't a big deal. About not feeling love with who they were with, about wanting to fuck other people, about doubting themselves in all these different ways. And it wasn't a big deal. Man, think about that. How much we walk around with, how much fear we walk around with of how we're going to be represented or seen or whatever, any of that shit. We don't have an outlet where we can be our real self. Man, that's one of the best things. In fact, there's a guy, Doc, who always is telling me, Steve, put up your testimonials. But there was a testimonial this last week that said, man, this is the only group I can be honest with. All this stuff in my life, all these people in my life, and this is the only outlet where I have that, and I'm truly grateful for it. Man, that's something to be proud of. Don't talk to pussy about pussy. Talk to dick about pussy. That doesn't make sense. But in that sense, you got to do it. In any case, if you like this sort of stuff, or if you want to build the bridge to this dialogue and not just hear me talk, god damn, man. The Austin Men's Development Group is a free group, and you can find the links down below for that. But more importantly, there's a paid group where guys actually get on and interact and better themselves. And the Men's Development Excellence message board, way different. There's 65 guys on there or so. And they're all guys that are really invested in working on themselves. That is fucking huge. So that's what, if that's what you want to be doing, if that's where you want to be going, and truly a mature group of guys. It's guys that clearly some are wanting to get laid. It's guys that some of them want to be in a relationship. Some of them want to be in better shape. Some of them just want to better themselves in the right ways. That is the key. And that's what we do. And when we do that, and what we've done for years, what we've done since 2006, is when guys work on that, everything in their life gets better. Man, and that is what will happen no matter where you're from, where you're at, where you're going, and the beliefs that you think are limiting you. That's what we do. So check it out. In the meantime, go fucking get laid. Later.